A long time ago, when the animal creation was being differentiated into swimmers, climbers, flyers, and runners, there was a school for the development of the animals. The theory of the school was that the best animal should be able to do one thing as well as another. And if there was an apparent aptitude in a given animal for doing one thing and an apparent inaptitude for doing other things, the time and effort should be spent upon the latter instead of the former. If one had short legs and good wings, the attention should be given to running so as to even up the qualities as far as possible. So the duck was kept waddling instead of swimming. The penguin was kept wagging his short wings in the attempt to fly. The eagle was made to run and allowed to fly only for recreation, while maturing tadpoles were unmercifully guided for being neither one thing nor another. All this in the name of education. Nature was not to be trusted in her makeup of individuals, for individuals should be symmetrically developed and similar for their own welfare as well as for the welfare of the community. The animals that would not submit to such training but persisted in developing the best gifts they had were dishonored, called narrow-minded, and specialists and special difficulties were placed in their way when they attempted to ignore the theory of education recognized by the school. No one was allowed to graduate from that school unless he could climb, swim, run, and fly at a certain prescribed rate. So it happened that the time taken by the duck in learning to run the prescribed rate had so hindered him from swimming that he was scarcely able to swim at the prescribed rate. And in addition, he had been scolded, threatened, punished, and ill-treated in many ways so as to make his life a burden, and he left school humiliated. And the platypus could beat him either running or swimming. Indeed, the latter carried off the prize in two departments. The eagle made no headway in climbing to the top of a tree. Though he showed he could get there just the same, the performance was counted a demerit, as it had not been done in the prescribed way. An abnormal eel with large pectoral fins proved he could run, swim, climb trees, and fly a little. He was made valedictorian. This influential essay, called an educational allegory, was written under the pen name Aesop Jr. and published in the Journal of Education in 1898. Centuries have been passed, but still this essay perfectly fits for the current condition of our education system, and also why so many people around the world are suffering from inferiority complex. The term inferiority complex comes from founder and father of individual psychology, Alfred Adler. It's basically a term used to denote an intense feeling of not belonging or a feeling of being less than. 150 years ago, you would have known your neighbors and a few other locals who would probably have been similar to you in many ways. You may have been vaguely aware of a few famous people, but that was it. Today's world is a very different place. Now we can glide silently through the lives and status updates of much of the world. After seeing all those people's posts, it is very common to start feeling inferior. You may know you shouldn't, but how could you not be? Your classmates may be posting pictures of them and their friends hanging out at cool places, and they seem to be having so much fun. They seem to so easily connect with each other and even date out with their beautiful girlfriend or boyfriend from time to time. Their outfits and makeup are on point, and each post garner a few hundred likes. But we are not defenseless. If we can only relax our expectations as to how we should be and understand that the way others present themselves to the world is heavily edited, then we can relax about how others seem to be and how we seem to them. And I am not just talking about online. Disconnecting from the perceived judgments of others and stopping comparing yourself with others are the two most important things you can do to destroy an inferiority complex. After all, the bulk of such complexes come from obsessing over what other people think of you. Sometimes this will relate to things people have actually said to you, and at other times it will be all about what you imagine they think. How good looking are you? How tall? How rich? How smart? How popular? How deeply loved and adored? We can only be tall or short, rich or poor, attractive or ugly in comparison to others. In a world with a population of 1, good looking would have no meaning at all. This inferiority complex, many are imposed by others on us and many we impose on ourselves. Many are imaginary and few are real. So let's ignore the imaginary ones and let's work on the things where we should truly care about lagging behind others. Confidently knowing that Usain Bolt can run faster than you is not the same as feeling inferior unless you really care about that. At the end of the day, only your opinion of yourself truly matters. As Albert Einstein once said, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. At last, a little request to you. If you have found this video useful, then please share it with your friends and family, because in this way, you can also help to change someone's life. Thanks for watching. More wisdom, more solution, better life.